Hello YouTube, this is Thomas Judge back once again with another episode of my ongoing series, Till the Fabled End, in which I read and review every single Fables Deluxe Edition hardcover, and I imagine all the spin-off series as well when I get to them. And today, the homework from last time is Fables Deluxe Edition Book 6. We have the cover here, which is really good, basically. The spine as standard, we're used to this now, and the back again, once upon a time, and then some blurb, and yeah, nice well designed dust jacket. The inside front flap has a pull quote as per standard, and then the rear flap has a biography of Bill Willingham with a different picture this time, but there we are. Oh, can you see it? There you go. Inside pages is a blurred skyline for New York, I think, and that's in purple. And let's have a look under the dust jacket. So, controversy strikes. Whereas last week's volume had a different image on the printed hardcover than was on the dust jacket, this time round we are back to the exact same image, but a textless variation thereof. This is good and bad, simply because, as I mentioned, it's quite hard to track down these images for thumbnails. Let's see how we get on. So anyway, let's put the dust jacket to one side and let's have a look at the comic. So this comic, or rather this collected edition, collects the following issues, if you can see there. Oh, let's zoom in. Fables 46 to 51. So that is issues... So the Ballad of Rodney and June is 46 and 47. Wolves is 48 and 49. Happily Ever After is 50, but it's a double-sized issue because it's like an anniversary issue. And then you have Big and Small, which is 51. And then you have the usual extras. So I'm going to go through that so you understand why the contents are like this. It's done by story arc as opposed to issue number. Interesting side note here, this is the last story of Fables that I have personally ever read hitherto. I read them all in trade paperback, or I read a whole load of trade paperbacks from my local library, I think I mentioned that. And I got to, I think, trade paperback 10 or 12 or something, which was issue 50. And then they ran out of trade paperbacks, so I couldn't read anymore. Here's an introduction by someone called Todd Klein. Introduction's pretty good, and then it dives into the actual series. Sorry, what was I saying? Yes, so I read up to and including issue 50, and then I couldn't get hold of any more, but I was like, do you know what? This is so good, I'm going to buy all the deluxe editions. So, here we are. This is, as I say, the first two-issue arc, The Ballad of Rodney and June. It's a two-issue story. It's good. It's really interesting. I really love these kind of fleshed out stories of things happening within the wider Fables universe. In this case, in the homelands, and actually to do with a soldier for the adversary. So this person works for the adversary, and that is the adversary. I'm going to quickly skip through because I don't want to make any spoilers and so on, but it's a really good, really sort of dark, thought-provoking issue. We then go past those two issues into Wolves, which is another two-parter, as we can see here, in which this character is hunting down Bigby, who is this character, trying to track him down, get him to come back to Fabletown. Yeah, it's again, it's good. It's solid artwork. It's a solid story. It's good. It's enjoyable. Spoiler warning: he does find Bigby, and in so doing, hold on, let me just think. Yeah, there's this character. I would like to know more about this character. This is someone who is with Bigby at this time. Hopefully, she comes back into it, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, so it's got this person here. This is Mowgli from the Jungle Book, Bigby, the big bad wolf, and it's just them interacting and Bigby being convinced to come back home to Fabletown. And it then has like a pretty wild, kind of dark story about an attack that they do on the adversary, so here behind enemy lines. And yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers for it, but it is interesting reading it, especially in the background context of the modern day. Now, this was written and published in about 2007, 2008, but it does make reference to, I'm just going to say it, it makes reference to the Israel-Palestine conflict, which reading now in 2023, 2024, is really interesting just to see why it's making these references, and I guess the political framework that it's referring to. It's interesting. I can imagine it could be quite polarizing and it might annoy or anger quite a few people. Anyway, I've skipped past that bit because I don't want to give spoilers, but it's a really awesome story. And I remember the first time I read it, I really enjoyed it. And now reading it with a greater knowledge of the wider historical context and current modern day events is a bit of a strange feeling. Anyway, then there's this story. There's going to be a spoiler. If you're not up for a pretty obvious spoiler, then please skip the rest of this video. But this big anniversary issue is, as you can see, the wedding. So yes, it's a huge wedding anniversary issue of two major characters getting married. Okay. That then takes us to the final issue collected here, which is Big and Small, which is a really cool issue with Cinderella. Huge fan of Cinderella, quite possibly one of my favourite Fables. Not in the original Fables, but in this series, she's fantastic. The version of her and what they do with her is brilliant. So yeah, there's this issue there. And then that takes us to the Tale from the Woodland Vaults. There you are, Treasure, sorry, from the Woodland Vaults. And these are just scripts. So this is a script for issue 50, the anniversary issue, in full detail. If you're an aspiring comic writer, very useful to see that. And then just some extra features, a few covers, a few bits and pieces, some sketches, standard. Okay, as with all of these binds, excellent bind quality, great paper, great binding, really well put together, really well designed, really well composed, and really consistent with all the others on the shelf. So that is the end of book 6 of the deluxe hardcover volumes. I guess at this point, I would say the homework for the next one is book 7. I am now leaping into the unknown with you, YouTube viewers, to my half a dozen or so human viewers, because from this point on, there are no Fable comics that I've read. I haven't read any of the other hardcovers, I haven't read any of the spin-offs like Fairest or Ever After, and I haven't read Jack of Fables. Yes, I own them all, but I never actually read them. So we are now leaping off the edge into the great unknown. The homework for next time is Fables Deluxe Edition, Book 7.
Alright, thanks for watching everybody. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. As always, please follow me on Twitter at @IamThomasJudge, where I will post a daily review of whatever comics I've been reading. You can get an idea of what I'm up to on the channel. And as always, please support the channel by heading over to Amazon.com and checking out my prose novel about superheroes. It's a completely original piece of work. The first episode in it is called Arrivals, and the series as a whole is called No Gods or Kings. You can find an excerpt of that on my website, nogodsorkings.com. Until next time, everybody, stay classy.